This is Voices in the Gallery, the official podcast of RoGallery in New York. I'm Steve Harper. RoGallery, 40 years of experience, 30,000 works of art online. By the way, one of the first art galleries to have art online. And they have an amazing museum where we're situated today. And we're going to learn a little bit more about that museum with one of the board members, and that's Dr. Joel Hirsch, who joins us today. Welcome. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're
Happy-
here because you have a massive passion for art. You're a collector. Where did this all begin?
Well, as I mentioned, one of the things that I thought that was very interesting was being a dentist. You get to see things in different ways, precision, angulation, and some of that is imbued in you when you begin to look at art. I think it's one thing, but I've always had a natural affinity and drawn to art from different periods of time. And so over time, I started to collect things. I was at charitable events, I was at museums, and I began collecting. And my collection that I think about over all these years of collecting is very eclectic. It can be from a period of time of 1500s, uh, from a artist that painted a cannon, and I'd have a small image of that, to all the way up to the modern, period of time with abstract and works by many different individuals: Sid Solomon, Joan Mitchell, de Kooning, Dali, but different periods of time and different pieces of art. And it's just something that has grown on me. And I felt an obligation that if I'm working all day long, I would like to put things together for people to enjoy and get the feedback too. And, and interesting comments and compliments about, wow, where did you get this piece? And it would be an unknown artist. And I would simply say, well, that's very Basquiat. He's a young, an upcoming artist. And I was absolutely searching out and found something in Mexico City that was reasonable. So you have to do your due diligence as well. And it's not about money, it's about the passion of the collections. Um, and I want to share that. I want to share that. I think at some point, all my art, whatever I have, might be put into a foundation. It's not original Miro's or original, but there's some things that would be very interesting. And because it involves emerging artists, well-known artists, I think it gives it a flavor of its own where people can make their interpretations and say, wow, I didn't know that, or wow, I didn't know that about the artist. Let me look this up. And I very often would do some due diligence where I would, on Frank Stella, and may he rest in peace, he died over a year ago. I had been searching and searching and looking, and it was really the last piece of art that I got, and I had a feeling about it. No, I didn't think that the artist was going to pass away, and I was kind of sad that he did because he was just a giant in all the books that I saw. I've never, and this is probably holds true for many other artists. So I would always try to look at different things. I tour museums with my younger son, and very often he has a good eye. We're in London, we're in Copenhagen, we just managed to look at things and enjoy things, not necessarily buy, but really get a perspective of European approach to the museums and to the galleries that are well known, as well as the American museums, although I haven't traveled that much here. Um, and so I'm really dependent upon what I observe and what I like.
It sounds like your collection spans from the unknown to the known. There are millions of artists over hundreds, thousands of years. Why do you think that some become more popular than others? I have a theory. It's the energy imprint they put in. It's their energy, their passion, their love. What do you think?
I agree with you 100%. I will tell you a small story that I shared with you earlier. I had a friend, my son's friend's family, had a gallery in Greenwich, and she had an opening. And I happened to have saw two different things that I liked. About a day or two later, she calls me and said, "I just want to let you know, we get a lot of different people in here." He said, "You have some eye for art. I just had a feeling about certain pieces. I knew that these pieces were going to be really grown. They will grow." Um, and I got it, and it was a compliment that I won't,
Wow.
that I
It's a
share.
testament to your passion and your eye.
Yeah.
Was there ever one that got away?
Oh, there's lots of things that get away. Either either it's just way above, but along those lines, you find something maybe similar or a different artist. I think I'm probably pretty happy with what I was able to do, and I think outside the box. And whenever I was just in Mexico City with my sons, and we were just looking at the culture at their main museum, and it's amazing because there are 50 different cities or counties or sub-countries in Mexico, which I never knew existed. And the culture from each you could draw you is slightly different.
It's like different countries.
Yes, but within the country,
Right.
it's a different everyone. It's like the city states, they are, and we have states here, but it's merged, it's not so different. Yes, it's the West Coast, or it's, uh, the country versus farmland versus, and there's some great painters of all of that, and it depends what you're drawn to, so
It sounds like you collect art not only for yourself, but to share that passion with others because it's in the waiting room of your dental office.
right,
It's in your home.
right. So
When you go to work, when you go home and you look up and you see some of these works of art, what does it feel like inside?
it's a very warm feeling. It's something I mentioned to you before. I'll come in the house and, after a long day of working, and I'll relax a little, but I always take the time for 5, 10, 15 minutes to look at different art, and each time appreciate. It grows in you in different ways. And it's something that I said, I really would love to share this. I don't have a huge office. I'd have to build a big office, but
You need a museum just for your dental office.
yeah, I mean, I have to think about certain things. I spoke to Rob about, and eventually decide what to do. So art will go on. We are mortal beings, and but I would hope that that passion is extended and appreciated by the public.
You've had a relationship with Robert, the gallery owner,
Yes.
for a number of years. Then he told you about this museum, which is just wonderful. Just
Right.
such the vibe in here. It feels so good. What did you think when he asked you to be a member of the board?
Well, I think it was at his birthday, and I thought he was joking, but he said, "Sign this." And he asked me and two or three other people to become members of the board. Where it's gonna go, I don't know, but I feel he should be really showing the public and providing the public, uh, in a gracious nonprofit way, to have them come and tour the museum. It's separate from his regular office, but I would assume, will rotate art in and out, and that could be a challenge because, as you saw, he has so much art, and when I go in there, you get lost.
I didn't know what to expect when I went to the gallery. Uh, I didn't want to leave
No.
because it's everything. There's something for everyone, whether you like pop art, abstracts, sculptures. I just 30,000 pieces. I don't know how he does it and catalogs it. He's a genius
Yeah.
in terms of keeping that all together.
Yeah, I would say to you that one of the things that, I don't have it in the office, I have it at home, but years ago, I went to the Vancouver, uh, I was in Vancouver, I went to a retrospective, and it was an Andy Warhol, retrospective, and my son and I, that time, we were staring at the images that he had, and, I decided that somehow I would get a piece of art, not the original, but obviously a nice piece of art. And Rob searched for about 2 years, and I managed to get this, what we call red linen, and share it, with friends. And it's, it's just a passion. It's just, I know that if I get something my kids will enjoy, my friends will enjoy, and then the next generation or generations will enjoy, and eventually the public would enjoy. So it's, it's just the way I'm built as far as the art, and it is a passion. Dentistry is a passion. What you have microscopic art, and yet it is art because when you're prepping and you're comparing things in the field of dentistry, it is an art form, a very meticulous type of art form. And I
It's all
think,
part of aesthetics as well.
yes, I mean, I'm not even just talking about, crowns and making people look aesthetically better, but the development of different types of restorations and what it takes to create those restorations is in itself an art form. A sort of, you know, it's not mechanics alone. It's
I
like,
truly believe that's why you have an eye for art,
you know,
because of what
I think it plays it does play a role. I know a number of dentists and they collect different things. Some they're into photography, some are into sculptures. Now,
Sure.
I have a colleague of mine that is a sculptor and he's a periodontist and he's a passionate collector of art. And he's collected art all over the world, different types of sculptures. And he'd go to the jungles somewhere in a remote area and be able to get some woodcuts of some things and things that I didn't appreciate until I actually saw that some of the stuff was from where it was. And but he for many years he traveled a lot all over the world. But he's got a very good eye, and also he is a great sculptor. And there are a lot of dentists they take up sculpture. If I was retired, maybe I would try.
Learned a lot today. It's all here. Visit, check it out online. The RoGallery Museum, Long Island City, available by appointment. Joel, thank you so much for being here. Your work with the board, truly appreciate
Thank
it.
you. My pleasure. Thank you very much.
To learn more, go to RoGallery.com.